Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to episode 70 of the Let's Talk Game podcast. I'm back doing shows with you guys.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
traveller. The traveller is
this
back.
week.
He's
Yeah,
taken ownership of the name.
yeah, managed to get away last weekend, but I caught the show on my very hungover journey home. So it was a solid listen after Chunt's booming voice calmed down.
Oh yes, I know. Yeah,
With big over ear headphones on it, it's just like this reverberating sound. And I was like, oh, like that's sharp. Um, but
the
we
ladies
figured out
love
what
it.
the deal was with that. Anyway,
Fingers crossed it
some stuff.
doesn't happen again.
Yeah, some stuff to talk about, sort out, get through, discuss, and then be on our merry ways for another weekend. You
Yes.
guys are there. I'm nearly there. We'll start today with what we've been playing as usual, and I think that Dan's probably been playing a good chunk. So do you want to take the reins first and let us have it?
Oh, of course. So I've only got to play a little bit last night, and I've been playing just before the podcast tonight. I'm playing on the new TV, on the new theatre couches. So it's really great with the theatre room couches because the two middle ones are together. So I sit in the middle and then use the recliners and have both the seats come up. So I'm sitting in the middle of the two the two seats while I'm playing. Just kicks back like it's a big bed, and it's so good. It's so good to play on. And then the TV itself, holy shit! So it's a 77-inch OLED, right on. It's one of the gallery TVs, so it just sits right up against it. And of all the games I'm going to play, because it was only little short stints, I couldn't get into anything. So 2K has been the first game to christen it. I really wanted to play other games, but because all this house stuff is happening at the same time, I actually haven't had a lot of time to play. But I really wanted to stick into some story because I'm ready for it. But there's just so much stuff to do around the house. Anyway, so 2K is all I got to really play this week.
Well, my estimation was gravely overshot. Dan's only played 2K. Chunt, you can fill us in. You've definitely been playing some stuff because I've seen your gamer score creeping up.
Yes. I'm 69 to 53 now, so that's a bit up from last night. Yeah. So I have been playing a game called Terra, which is a MMO type game. I don't know where it's made, but it's like this really easy MMO. And Sarah introduced me to it. She enjoys it, so I'm going to play it with her. It's actually quite fun. Character designs and world design looks fun. It's your standard MMO quest affair, but anyway, it is what it is. The Medium, I finished that, so I'd let you guys know. I think earlier today, finally finished it, and yeah, the first half of the game is better than the last, which is saying something because it is a bit of a plot overall. So, but some easy achievements, which is fine. They give you 100 gamer score just for finishing the damn game, so that's all right. They set it up for a sequel, and I laughed. I was like, really? This is how you're ending this? Like, I don't see they're doing a sequel on it, but whatever. And then I jumped right into Ghostbusters, the video game remastered, which is a PS3, Xbox 360 generation remix or remastered, as it says. Actually, very good. I'm very much enjoying that. It's been on my backlog for quite some time, and I'm glad to finally be getting to it. Um, people say, or it is technically the official third movie because it's written by the guys and they're all in it, and they even say as much. Like this was part of our idea for the third movie that never happened. So yeah, I'm keen to get through that. And even just today, I gave Spellbreak a go. I had one match and uninstalled it. I gave Spillgate a go, which is the one that you mentioned, Jamie.
Slipgate, yeah.
Oh, Slipgate. Sorry, whatever it is. It says Spillgate here. Oh, Splitgate. Sorry, I'm reading it wrong. Totally sorry. Yeah, Splitgate. Um, yeah, it's like you said, it's very much Halo multiplayer, but like a bootleg version of.
Yeah.
I do say though, it needs Rumble. Like I didn't have any Rumble in it. It's not in the settings, so I'm used to being shot at in games, and you can feel it's coming from,
Yeah,
and
you don't
you're
know
getting
you don't know
shot at.
when you're
Yeah,
being shot. Like you get the
yeah,
rumble from the gun, but you don't know when you're being hit. Yeah, I've
yeah.
noticed that as well.
That was so frustrating, but Yeah, I was doing really good on that game. It's either people that are playing it are like kids or something, or people that don't play shooters very often, or what. But like, I was doing pretty good. Like I carried the game that we played.
Mhm.
I forgot what the numbers were, but I remember going, right, I'm doing too good for this game. I don't play shooters a lot, but whatever. So I can only imagine what your games were like. And then I jumped back into Smite. I'm actually really enjoying that. I bought this this thing on sale that unlocks every god in the game. It's like $7. I was like, fuck yeah, I'll do that. It's a free game. I'll throw them some money and try out some different gods. I really want to learn how to play that. I just tonight I realized there's a whole upgrade system that I wasn't aware of. You know, like
Most
during the
MOBAs
match.
do have them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, wow, okay. I really need to watch some tutorials on this. So yeah, that's everything I've been playing lately. I've been playing a lot lately. Yes.
I find it funny
Done.
that the medium is set up for a sequel, and now they're just making a Silent Hill game with Konami. So obviously that didn't go as planned.
That sequel's
Yeah.
not happening. Like,
No.
there's no earth where that sequel happens.
No.
So
Jamie,
I've obviously not spoke to you guys for like two weeks about it, but I've had a fair crack at some stuff. So not this last week, but the week before, I was well into my Genshin Impact hole. Um, they've enabled crossplay between PlayStation and mobile and iOS, all the rest of it. So it's I can take my save on the go. It's excellent. Good reason to kick out the backbone, or as I've constantly said, when you kind of glued to the couch with baby, etc. Like it's easy to just go do your daily stuff. It's quite cool. Progressing in the story, I've unlocked the next bit. I think I've said to you guys before, when I fall off, that is because I hit this wall where it's like you need to world level, and it's like you need to world level 6 world levels, and it's like, for fuck's sake, like you've stopped me progressing through the narrative to be able to just keep plodding going through it. So happy that I've done that. I need to kind of get that going. In the meantime, I kicked out some Halo, both Master Chief Collection and Halo 5, just on that hype train of needing to get on the Infinite bandwagon. I am registered to that program. I don't know if I got an invite or not. Obviously, I wasn't around last weekend, so I wouldn't have been able to even get it if I wanted to. And then yeah, out of that, I kind of saw that IGN had posted this thing about this Splitgate thing that just looked like Halo. So I did the same thing, John. I was like, yeah, I'm going to get on this. I know I sent it to you after, but I was absolutely steamrolling people, and I was like, this is fun. Like, getting quad kills. They've obviously got the announcer and stuff. It sounds like you're playing a Halo game. It's like double kill, triple kill, and it's like you get some headshots. You kill tac. They haven't got kill tacular. I can't remember what they called the 5 one, but it seems too easy. It is complete crossplay, so yeah, you'll have people playing for free on PlayStation, PC, and an Xbox. What I did find is whenever, if you notice on the right hand column jump, when you have the character lineup, like who's in the lobby, there'll be people with a mouse as an indicator, and it's like obviously displays that they're playing on mouse and keyboard. The only game that I think I've lost is we got absolutely stomped by a whole team of just mouse and keyboard players, and it's like you just couldn't
Oh.
you couldn't target them quick enough. It was like this is
Yeah.
yeah, this isn't fun. But then for the rest of the time, I've been absolutely smashing through it, like cleaning up achievements left, right, and center. So I was like very aware that you're not gaining on me, but you're making solid ground. So I need to just put a bit more distance between us on the old achievement front.
God damn it.
What else have I played through? I feel like I've played some other stuff, but I can't really think of what it is right now. They were kind of the big three that
Ratchet. You played
I've been
Ratchet,
playing.
didn't you?
I played the first level of Ratchet, yeah, because I was like, I sat like needing to entertain my 2-year-old, and it was like he's relatively entertained. I'll stick the PlayStation on. As soon as he saw Ratchet, he was like over, like sat on my lap, like watching what was going on, and he just thought every time I
Oh.
whacked one of them like weird creature things that look a bit like a frog, but they're definitely not frogs.
Yep.
Like smack one of them in the face with a hammer, and they just like fly away and turn into bolts or whatever the currency is in the game. And he'd just piss himself. So I was just running around just smashing these things in the face, and he thought it was hilarious. And then obviously the cutscenes and stuff. It's just like it's like a Pixar movie. It looks like a Pixar movie. I don't think I'm invested enough to be able to go Unite the new one. Go, oh, this is good. Like it just feels like I was watching a bootleg Incredibles movie.
Hmm.
For a lot of the time of those first chapter or so. But yeah, that's what I managed to get into on there. There's definitely more stuff on the Xbox that I managed to get through a bit of. Oh, I played Assassin's Creed Odyssey on via uh,
Oh, do you
NVIDIA
like it?
GeForce. You know that I liked it. It's funny because I was like, I've got all this. I finished the main story, but there's so much campaign DLC, so many different stories that are told in that world, and it's like I want to do the whole Fate of Atlantis thing and go do all the rest of it. And it's like, but my save is on PC, so GeForce Now runs really, really, really well. I'd say it's like lag wise and input delay and stuff. It's better than um, anything from anyone else. Like it's better than xCloud, and that takes some saying because that's a pretty flawless service. But
Yeah.
literally, I didn't feel like I was hindered by a cloud connection. Like there was no discernible input lag. And when you're playing something like that, you feel like your character movement, you turn left, right, whatever. It looks quite pretty as well, and it's available like on Mac, which is awesome
Mm.
because it means that I don't have to be confined to a tiny screen. That I can actually throw it up. The free version you only get an hour session, so it'll log you out after an hour's session. So you do have to kind of be mindful of the time and go, better save it because there's I'm going to
A
get
whole
kicked out
nother
in a minute, and then you
challenge.
just restart a new session. If you pay for the full version, I think it's $7.99 a month, and it's you get ray tracing support and all the bells and whistles that you get with an RTX card, and it's like £7 or £8 a month. So don't quite think I need to do that because the only thing that I want to do is just keep getting little sessions through and make my way through all that DLC that I own. So yeah, done some actual playing of games, albeit not for
Good.
long chunks of time. I've not been able to just zone out, which I'm still getting to grips with. But every now and then you get I can pop this on, or like one evening it'll be like the kid will settle, and it's like I'll throw this in. The PlayStation lives downstairs now. Don't even live in here. No point. Do you know what I mean? It's like if I'm playing something on PlayStation, it's usually for its graphical fidelity, so it may as well be hooked up to the OLED downstairs.
Very
But
true.
that's the WWBP, and it took a good chunk. So let's move onwards, and well, probably I don't know if it's upwards or downwards, but it's in some direction. Horizon and Kena have both been, well, one's been delayed and one's been very heavily touted to be delayed. So looks like there's nothing to play on PlayStation for the remainder of the year, except Kena is still coming this year in September. Dan, do you have the actual date?
September. No, I don't have the actual date. It's September though.
September sometime.
It's only a few weeks.
Yeah, I think it worked out about 3 weeks from the original launch date, and it's like, look, we just need to polish some stuff. Fine. I mean, I was looking forward
Yeah.
to having it this month to go through, but next month will equally do. As we've alluded to a lot, there's a lot on Game Pass this month. Psychonauts, Hades, still to come. Microsoft Simulator happened already, so there's plenty to play on the Xbox. Chunt, you played Flight Simulator, did you not? Did you speak about that last week? I think you did, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did, and the Ascent as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were both earlier this month. Have you been back to either of them?
Yeah, yep. I've been flying around Flight Simulator, even with just like remote play on my phone, just at my desk, just chilling, you know.
Fair.
And the Ascent, yeah, Sarah and I went back to it a few times actually, and we just get taken out of it by how buggy it is, and the cross multiplayer like co-op is just fucked, you know.
Mm.
Like I host the game, right? So I'm on Series X, and I don't know if that's got something to do with it, but I'm fine. Everything's like whoosh, quick, loads up super quick. So I was on a Xbox One X, and it's just like waiting for her game to load. So what happens is I load in, she loads in into a void on her screen, and has to wait for ages for the world to just boot in. She can move around. I can
Populate.
see her
Mm.
moving around, but there's no like world for her to move around in. You know,
It's still
but
loading through the memory, yeah.
yeah, like for a good 5 minutes, yeah, she's just walking around on nothing and
Sounds
following
nearly as
me.
fun as you and I trying to play Gears together.
Yeah, right.
Just
I
moving
finished that too.
characters spinning around in circles. Yeah, I was gonna say I thought you'd finished Busters.
Totally
You've
forgot about that.
you've missed the boat now.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
too
Yeah,
far gone. We've got deviated again. So yeah, Kena and Horizon. I'm more interested on the Horizon side. So we've been saying for, and Dan, did you say it would hit this year? Because I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure when we had that out, I was like, no chance on earth because they've not dated it. Is it hitting this year? And do you want to kind of fill the story in? It's looking like it's not. It's not coming out this year.
Yeah, so basically, I think it was Jeff Grubb. I think it was Jason Schreier. I think it's been said by a
They
few
both
people.
kind of confirmed it, didn't
Yeah,
they? Yeah.
in the know that it's going to get delayed till early 2022. So I feel like after maybe avoiding it all, it's going to end up back at the February date that people thought it might have, because it initially came out in February, so that would make sense. But yeah, that probably to me, now technically all of this with Kena and also Horizon, it's actually probably fitting in nice with my lifestyle right now because I haven't been able to play any of the freaking games. Like I still haven't bought Disco Elysium, which I was wanting to play back in March, and I'm just falling behind. But so it's falling in place for me. But I do think there is a discussion to be had about this was kind of a year where PlayStation knew that Xbox were coming in 2022 with their stuff, or 2022, 2023 is when all their big stuff was coming. And they kind of had this year to be like, let's get out some stuff quick, like before Xbox hit hard. And I think they've made some good games. Like I don't think people are arguing that Demon Souls and Returnal and Ratchet are not good games, but I don't think they have had enough to just knock it out of the park and be like, well, they've just got so many games to start the first year with. They've kind of had like a really good effort, but not quite what you were wanting. And I think that is probably the most damning thing. To have Horizon finish off the year would have been a really good notch in the belt for them, and yeah, the fact that they didn't, I think, is a missed opportunity to start off the new generation.
I absolutely unequivocally agree because after Kena, it means that there's nothing for me to play until next year. It's like it almost becomes that question of what is the point in you can't get these things for love no money. They're still scarce as all hell. But what's the point in having one? Do you know what I mean? It's like it's currently quite pointless hardware. Yeah, there's some upgrades for stuff, but I mentioned previous like my only reason I went back to Xbox was my back catalog. The library of games that I've got on there is like in the hundreds. Like I think I'm at 400 or 500 full retail games. It's like that's nice to have because I can play all of them. PlayStation, yeah, there's it has the PS4 back compat stuff, but it's also like it was the thing to get because it's like these new experiences are, to quote our old mate Jim Ryan that lied to our faces repeatedly for months and months on end about being about generations and everything that was going to be coming is excellent. I don't doubt that eventually it will be excellent. It's just that there was kind of no reason. I feel like if they'd have held off a year, they if they'd held off the hardware a year, imagine then going into 2022 next year. They release the hardware this year and say like Returnal, Demon Souls, and Ratchet were all ready to come out as launch titles. It's like here's 3 exclusives, bang, and then first quarter next year you get Horizon, bang, and they're into their slew. Like you said, they're into that pattern straight away. Whereas this year, it's like they've tried to pad this year out with stuff, and then their big hitter at the end of it, it looks like it's going to miss it. I mean, when they didn't date it after that showcase, I was like, there's no chance on earth this is coming this year because they'd have windowed it at least. And then all the the blog posts from Herman Holtz and stuff. Yeah, they're still aiming for this year. It's like it just didn't smack of any confidence. So it doesn't surprise me to learn that it's probably not coming this year. It hasn't been confirmed by Sony. It's worth noting that. But when these industry insiders, the Schreiers, the Grubs, they don't usually post stuff unless they have a pretty good, you know, solid base of a number of sources saying, yeah, this isn't happening.
I
So
think the July event not coming through also is probably indicative of that because I think they're going to have Call of Duty there, and Call of Duty apparently is behind. If Last of Us is, if Horizon is also behind, like they're just not enough to show. And it's weird how there was so much conversation about when Sony going to have that July event, and then everyone's like, it's been pushed to August, and we haven't spoken about it since that was pretty much confirmed. So, and now I think people just don't want to think about when it's going to happen because it might not happen till next month. Who knows?
I think it might be in September, and I think when it is in September, I think that's when they clarify the delay, and they go, yeah, look, we just don't have the time. Like we need the extra 8 weeks or whatever it's going to work out being getting from it was reported last week of November, wasn't it? It was the kind of penciled in. So from there to first to second week of February, whatever the anniversary date for the first game will be, is probably where it's gonna hit somewhere. So yeah, disappointing. And just on that note of like Call of Duty, like do you this I've seen this being thrown around a little bit. Do you guys see a world where there isn't a release this year? because apparently like it is in the shitter, like it's not ready. It's not ready to be released.
I
I
think they
don't
I'll,
think
should
that I
skip
don't
it,
think
right?
that's an
I'll
Activision move.
let
I
Chuck
think
go
given
first.
everything that's yeah,
Uh,
given everything that's going on at that company at the moment, I think the worst thing they could do is launch a half-baked thing and piss off like their biggest audience. Do you know what I mean? Like, but yeah, Chunt, sorry, go ahead.
No, you're right. All good. I think they could just skip a year, man. I mean, they've been having constant Call of Duties every year for the last 56 years, you know. So why not just like skip one and make sure all your ducks are in a row? And as you say, like we've seen how many games come out broken and how the negative news cycle just destroys that game on socials, you know,
Mhm.
and it becomes a joke and a meme. And that's their cash cow. Activision and Call of Duty are like synonymous, and with everything that's been going on, like you alluded to, yeah, I don't think they need any more negative press going on. So to protect your cash cow, the thing that makes you the most money, it's probably a good idea just to give it 6 months or so, you know, or however long you need just to get out of this year and away from a lot of the negative news that's going around. I personally, I'll be unaffected by it, and I think
Yeah,
a lot of people surprisingly will be unaffected by it because you've got what you had two Call of Duty games released in like the space of 8 months or whatever. You know, the battle royale and a proper like release or whatever that came out,
Mhm.
and people are still playing that shit. Um, Maybe just play something else, unless you're one of those people that's all you play every year. You know that there are people out there that just play FIFA, or there are people out there that just play NBA 2K, and that's it. You know, if you're just one of
yeah,
those people that play COD, then you'd be like, oh, what have I got to play now? You've still got Call of Duty. You've got 56 games to choose from. Just play them. But whatever.
yeah.
Um,
Like,
yeah,
I agree in the exact sentiment of what you're saying, but I also don't think that Bobby Kotick is he doesn't care enough about what we get as customers, and they will know that Activision know Battlefield, Halo. They're all coming, and they're not
yeah,
going to want to miss being part of that. They still want to have their first person shooter crown. Personally, for me, they're not going to get it because like they've not had that first person shooter crown for me probably since I'd say Black Ops 2 was the pinnacle of Call of Duty. But since then, it's like so many more games have come out and done it better. And with Halo seemingly being a return to form, plus Battlefield going fuck the battle royale stuff, we're going back to our roots, and everything's going to explode as soon as it lands on your screen. I'm quite interested in that. I'm quite happy that I've been invited to the insider demo thing, which I'm keen to give it a go. I want to see all these explodey things going off on the battlefield. It'll be quite cool. But yeah, I don't
hell
see a
yeah.
world where Bobby Kotick lets Call of Duty skip a year. He should, but it won't. Dan, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it will definitely come. We've seen in the past that they've had to zag at with Black Ops 4 not having a single player mode because they couldn't make it in time. Sledgehammer was literally making was it Cold War initially, and then they got pulled off completely. Treyarch took over, and then Raven took over the single player stuff. So they will move whatever they have to move to get something out, even if it means omitting entire portions of it. They might wield some of it into the what's it called, the battle
It's a
royale stuff.
sledgehammer year, by the way.
Yeah, but so Sledgehammer took a time off since World War Two, the
World
World
War
War
Two.
Two game.
Mhm.
So they missed a year and they've been put back on it, and a lot of those leaders have left. The
And it's
other
still a
thing,
crap game.
the other thing I was also thinking of is these a lot of studios tends to know what other studios are doing, and if Call of Duty weren't coming, we would have a date for Halo. I feel like if they knew Call of Duty was like they're not going to make it this year, because they would have to let all their partners know and everything, and Microsoft would know. We would have a date for Halo by this point, and yeah, I think they're still just waiting. They're just going to just stay enough clear of each other to make everybody happy, and yeah, so I definitely think it's going to make it.
Just a kind of update to this story because I hadn't read anything. Apparently, according to Activision, Call of Duty is still on schedule, and will arrive this year. Codename is Vanguard. It will return to the Second World War, so it's going to be kind of the next part of the World War II game.
And
It's not
Sledgehammer.
Yeah, so yeah, it's Sledgehammer. We'll see. Apparently, according to them, it is still on course for this year. It will come out in the last quarter, but yeah, knowing that it's in trouble, and knowing it's Sledgehammer, and knowing what they had to do last time, and with the CEO departures this last week, people are coming in to take over. All right, they're still corporate shill holes, but it seems like they're better positioned to make good decisions. Yusuf Mehdi, for all of the flack he gets from his Microsoft days, which he deserves. He thoroughly, him and what's he called, Don Matrick,
Don Matrick, yeah.
tried to turn the Xbox division into a fucking entertainment division. It's like, now we just want video games, mate. But he's been around the block, do you know what I mean? So he'll know. Kind of coming into that, like, let's not misstep this. So yeah, we'll see. Sorry, I just threw that thing in there because you mentioned Call of Duty, Dan. I thought it was worth us just having a bit of a thing about. But yeah, from one shooter to another, Halo had a technical test, as we've already alluded to last weekend. Said I'm part of the insider program, but I was on my jolly bobs last week on an airplane and doing drinking and stuff, so it was not available to be played. Chun, I should have just given you the invite code. I don't know why I didn't do that.
Oh, mate, you dropped the ball there, mate. I'll never forgive you. No,
I was probably very intoxicated when I saw the email.
That's fine, mate. It's fine.
So that's happened, and it seems to have had a really, really positive response. Apparently, the first 8 hours or so were a bit rocky, but once they got things up and running, I have not seen, and I've watched a lot this week or listened to a lot of coverage of it. I haven't seen or heard a single person say anything bad, which is, as a fan of the franchise, is amazing. Like, finally, it's getting some good. People are not shitting on it. It's just getting good rapport with fans and people that are playing it. And it's like, you have to feel like the people who are playing it, other than the journalists, they're people who are invested enough to be part of the insider program, invested enough to be registered on Halo Waypoint and all of this kind of stuff. So it's people who want it to be good. You see some of the old pros coming back, and it's like, this feels like Halo 3, and it's like, yeah, this is where we're going. So Dan, I know you don't have much affinity for Halo, not in the same way Chunt and I do anyway, but have you seen anything? Happy to see a positive response. Give us a hot take.
I haven't read much into it, but I have seen like the positive responses coming out, and it's amazing what a year can do for a game. Like, just delaying a year, and also the new direction that Microsoft is taking in terms of letting the studios just make the games and make them well is always going to pay off. And all Halo had to be was good, and the fact that probably what's going to be the strongest part of Halo is the multiplayer, and you're getting it for free, and this beta is going really, really well for them. I think it's a huge deal. As I said, the most stuff I hear, even the people that aren't like glowing about it, they're talking about how it plays like Halo, and that's why those ones don't necessarily pipe up too much, because it just feels right, because it just feels what it normally should be like. And sometimes with those things, it's like when people talk about music, it's like, oh, I didn't even notice the music, but that's because it was good, and therefore it wasn't interrupting your flow. And I think that's what is coming out of the beta at the worst, if you want to call it that, is that the fact that it just feels like Halo, and people are like, yeah, this is Halo. Good job.
Chump.
Well, the only one thing I heard that was negative is that the fruit, you can't shoot them, they don't explode. That was the only thing that I saw going around, is you can't pop the fruit, whatever, in the baskets. I was like, really? If that's the only negative thing you got to say about it, I mean, that's telling on its own, right? I mean, I actually did delve into some multiplayer footage. You sent me one, and I went into another one and another one. I was like, oh, I can feel this already. It just looks exactly what it needs to be. It doesn't look like there's any bullshit that we had going on in 4 and 5. As much as I really enjoyed the multiplayer in 4 and 5, it just felt not. It was not Halo. It felt like it, but it was like Halo trying to be COD, and that's you're ruining the experience, in my opinion there. But Yeah, I can't wait for this, man. Like that split gate. I had a go at it, but I remember just playing it, going, this makes me just want to play Halo, you
Yeah,
know, you know,
same
and
feeling.
yeah, right. So I was just like, yeah,
Mhm.
I had a few rounds. I'm like, I'm good. Like, okay, I tested that out, got rid of it. I was like, I'll just wait. I'll wait for Halo. Because after watching those videos, I'm like, holy shit, I can see myself just playing this. And you can play with bots, which is fine. Like, if I don't want to rage at people, I just want to relax, I'll just throw bots on, and that's fine. I did that with Gears of War 5 a lot, and I'm looking forward to that very much. Like the announcer, all the effects look great, the lighting looks spectacular. Like it looks so much better than like Dan said, giving it a year is the best thing they could have done for
Mhm.
this game. Um,
Absolutely.
and yeah, look, I'm gonna try and get Sarah into this because I want to play a lot of multiplayer, man. It, even though I wasn't playing it, I felt like yeah, the whole Halo 3 days, it just felt like that just watching it. And I was like, man, I'm having massive nostalgia trips on just watching through all this. I tried not to listen to many commentaries about it because I just want to go into it myself with my own opinions in the multiplayer. So I don't know what everybody's saying, but all the Twitter sphere that I've been seeing going around, it's just great. Like you said, it's great to see that it's all positive. Like, besides the fruit thing, I haven't seen a bad thing said, and it's like, oh, thank God, you know.
Yeah,
And
the fruit thing's just a joke at this point. Let's be
yeah, it's
honest.
ridiculous. So you know what I'm talking about when I mention that? Have you seen
Yeah,
that?
like
Yeah.
it's like, well,
Yeah,
yeah, of course. Like the fruit is made up of like it's a solid object. It's one
it's a
object.
static piece of
It's not
yeah,
built of a bajillion particles. I don't give a fuck if a piece of fruit doesn't explode. That's not
yeah. It's real
my
splitting
priority.
hairs just for the sake of it. But bring it on, man. I really need to see the campaign though. Excuse me. I need to see them do a more showcase on the campaign because the campaign is like some people say the bread and butter of Halo is the multiplayer, and I would agree in some extent. But I keep coming back for the story and the world and whatever's been put in front of us for like a big cinematic action experience,
Mhm.
sci-fi opera type thing. And I need that to be good because yeah, people have fond memories of Halo 2, Halo 3 because of the story and the music and like how you feel going through that journey with Master Chief of Cortana. They need to recapture some of that, man. I love Halo 4, but man, well, we all know Halo 5 was a massive misstep, and they need to kind of bring us back to some of that. And it looks like they are with the way they're treating a lot of the marketing for it and the teasers. Like it's really obviously harkening back to Halo 1. So, man, I can't wait. Like November, I'm pretty sure November. Like, I'm pretty sure that's the time when it's coming out. I want it. I need it
Hopefully.
now.
So apparently, have you got yourself registered on Waypoint?
I am on Waypoint, yeah, but I don't
Go in and
have it installed
go in
now.
and sign up um for the beta access because
Oh.
apparently there is another one coming later this month and then a further one
Mm.
in September. I think the one in September is likely going to be like, right, we're stressing the servers now, like open beta, stress the servers. They'll have October to polish, and then, yeah, as you said, probably the anniversary date is likely when we'll
Oh
see it.
yes.
Kind of a, I mean, I don't need to say anything else about the multiplayer. We've covered that, but I think the interesting question coming out around Halo now is, and I've seen this take in a few places, and I actually wouldn't mind this because I'm actually more hyped for the multiplayer experience than I am the story at this point. Um, do we think that there's a world where multiplayer launches this year and they give the team time to finish the campaign properly and it comes out early next?
Mm,
Or is it just got to be, it's all there,
I
it's all now?
I don't think they
Because we've
can.
heard and seen nothing about the campaign, by the way.
I
It's all
know.
been very multiplayer centric.
That's why I mentioned it. Like I need to see more of the campaign. Like they've teased at it, but I don't think they can. Like even if they do, I think that's bad. Anyway, you slice it, it's like, well, we can give you this now. Just don't kick us in the teeth. Just take it, please. I don't want that. I just want them just to drop it, and just be like, here it is. I mean, you're going to play the campaign, what, I don't know, 5, 6 hours, however, I don't know how big it is, but they're planning to keep releasing content for it. So I don't imagine it's going to be some massive thing. I could be totally wrong, but um, I just want it. Like we've seen screenshots of PC builds and how good it looks now
Mhm.
of the campaign world shots, so they are working on it. They have been working on it.
Yeah,
I
yeah, obviously.
I don't think they'll extend it, man. I think even Phil, I think Phil would even just be like, no, we got a lot of shit for how we've done this already. Just let's just put it out. You guys have
Shit, I'll
got it
get
ready.
hot.
Yeah, you've got it ready. Just do it, man. I think the art style that they're leaning into for this one, you can kind of do it. Like it's not super like Naughty Dog photorealistic. It doesn't need to be. Halo never has been. The closest they got to it was 4 or 5, really. Like I remember looking at Nathan Fillion in Halo 5 and going, "Holy shit, that's the
Pretty.
fidelity, bro."
Super pretty.
Yeah. So yeah, I think they can do it. That's the world I want to be in, Jamie. I want it this year.
Oh, I absolutely agree with you, but I've just seen the kind of there's murmurings about this could be the idea. Dan, any? I know you're not gonna have any preference either way. Actually,
Uh,
taking
well,
that question away from you, what would it take for Chunt and I to be able to rouse you in to install it on your PC to join us
oh,
for
no
some
fucking
Halo?
chance. I've forgotten how to play first person shooters on a console, let
No, but
alone the
even the
fucking
campaign,
PC.
because the campaign's usually co-op for up to 4 players.
Yeah, that's a good point. Um,
We're
things
gonna get
go
him on
if
this. It's
things
gonna
go
become
well
hugely
enough.
binding.
Hopefully, I can get like a Series S or something. Then
Mm.
that might be a point. But like I think it will come this year. But you piqued my curiosity at least with that, because this is a situation that they've never necessarily been in. I think if they had to delay the single player, it will fit in with Microsoft's strategy in terms of being just open and honest with everybody. Like if they say,
Mhm.
everybody, listen, we have the multiplayer. As you can tell by our beta test, we're very proud of where we're at. We think the single player needs more time, and in that, while we're waiting, we'll put out the multiplayer, and the single player will come first quarter of next year. We just need more time to work on it, and it's unlike any other game that we've ever had to really deal with, like any type of Call of Duty, like multiplayer type game, because it's going for free. You don't even need Game Pass to play it. And then I think because people are getting happy to, when Halo comes out in January, to pay $14 for the month to play the single player campaign, I don't think they would be happy with it. I think the closer you get to that November date, the harder it is to message it. But if they come out in the start of September and say it's going on really nicely, maybe they show off a little bit of it and they say we want to get the rest of the game up to what you've just seen, and it's going to take us a few more months. I think they can get away with that because they're not worried about Horizon or something from PlayStation anymore. They're not like the multiplayer is going to stand out on its own.
Yeah, make
It's
it the best it can
more
be.
it's more the multiplayer maps and not giving away what happens in the story, because I think in terms of the single player, what you were talking about before, the most interesting thing I think in the single player is probably going to be that world design, because of how they're changing it up, not necessarily the story.
Mhm. Can explore the full Halo ring. That'll be. I'm still super keen on it, but I've got that multiplayer itch at the minute, which I can't. Hopefully, yeah, that test flight for the end of this month can't come around soon enough. Well, we're quickly running out of time. Because I only get so long for a lunch break. Uh, there's a new South Park game being teased. Apparently, the creators Matt Stone and Trey Parker have said that there is a new game in development, and that's pretty much all they've said. Um, I'm quite keen for this. Stick of Truth is still one of my favorite video game experiences ever. I've never laughed at a video game as much as I did Stick of Truth. Being totally honest, I didn't make it any further than the first hour of the Fractured Butthole. Um, it's still on the list of things that I want to, but I find that stuff like that. So, say it'd be really cool to dive back in and play that when the new season of South Park's on, because it's like you watch an episode and it's like, I'm keen for more of this. Let's just go play the game for an hour or so. So obviously, first time round was the very Dungeons and Dragons esque kind of magic stick of truth time, which is one of my favorite seasons of South Park, when all the characters are just pretending to be like witches and wizards for the whole season. It's excellent. The second one, which was all focused, Fractured But Whole, all on superheroes and kind of that kind of take, and they all have their own superhero identities and stuff, which in the show is funny. I don't feel like it was translating well to the video game, which is why I put it down. Um, so this is just pure speculation, just for a bit of fun, because Dan, there's no hope in hell we're going to get to that topic. So we'll have a little bit of fun with this.
That's what I'm good at, coming up with topics that don't get read.
We never get there. What do we think this third iteration could be from them? Do you think you're going to keep like the same formula, try something completely different? Like, what kind of character arcs could they have through it? Like, where do they go to make sure that it is still funny and that it's not just getting done to death? Dan, you can start.
The thing I found interesting about it, apart from the fact they're making apparently 14 movies or something, there was no like agreement in terms of who's publishing the game, so they might not be going back to Ubisoft or anything. I just want to say that I've never played them. I've watched a lot of the gameplay of them. It's actually really nice, and also nice is probably not the right word for South Park, but you don't get a lot of comedy games, like games that are straight up meant to be comedies, which is always fun to see, and I think that's what's really good to have it, and it brings over the same humor as the show, and it looks just like the show. But yeah, I'm more curious as to where it's going to land and what type of game it's going to be. I heard that the first game was incredibly tough on the creators. Yeah, I heard doing the show in that game like absolutely killed them, and they weren't even sure if they were going to do a second one. And then during the second one, they got more of a flow of how to make a game. So I think with that experience, they're going to learn even more. I'm not sure what the pop culture aspect will be, though, going from the fantasy to the superhero thing. And maybe it is they do a commentary on games themselves, like make it very meta. That would probably be the next step to go.
I think there's an element that maybe that if you look at the statement from them, that they could weirdly self-publish, because they've created a business, a company themselves, and I quote, "This newly established company will bankroll several projects, including movies for the Paramount Plus streaming service, a weed company in brackets, of course, and the new South Park video game." So it looks like they may. It's looking like they want Obsidian to develop, which in itself is odd because they're now owned by Microsoft. So is this an exclusive question mark? Or will Microsoft part fund it or something? If they're using, or you'd have to think maybe they have to license the use of Obsidian from Microsoft. Right now, this is the first confirmation that we've got of a new South Park game being in development. I like your take on them going full meta though, like just being like, yeah, this is how hilarious the video game industry is, and like, maybe Cartman's the CEO of Nintendo or something stupid, because they haven't shied away from having like, weird executives from Nintendo or PlayStation in the show. Like, they're obviously not real ones. They just go to Japan and they've got like a backwards PlayStation logo, and it's just a bunch of Japanese dudes sat there like jerking off at a table. Like, it's very South Park to be in that era. And I think that the creators have also probably got quite au fait with the industry. As they've made these couple of games, it'll be pretty interesting to see where they go. But I'm super happy for that. Take as long as they need as well. Like I said, I still haven't finished the Fractured Butthole, but one thing's for sure, it'll have a fucking banging title.
Yeah, that's true.
It'll have an excellent title. And yeah, the movie products. Like, do you think they're South Park films, or do if they're making movies for Paramount? Like,
they got a 900 million deal over the next 6 years, so there's plenty of time to think about it. I think they might even start making their own films again. That's where they started out doing.
Team America 2.
Spaceballs.
Yeah, and
yeah, Team America 2. I'm on board for that. It's been a long time since Team America.
Imagine the material they could have for that now in today's world.
The fun they could have with that. Yeah, the world's
much
in
the
the
same
right place.
Well, yeah, like much the same for the game though. Like that game, you could mix, the video game industry controversies that continue to keep happening and get revealed all the time in with like pandemic type stuff. Like if they wanted to really make it current year, like they have the other ones. Like I assume when Stick of Truth has been made, which was fucking fantastic, I love that game, was being considered, fantasy movies were all the rage, and then superheroes were all the rage, which I haven't even bought that yet. You'd think it'd be right up my alley, but when I saw video footage of the gameplay and what it is, I was like, yeah, I don't know, don't know about
I
that.
mean,
Like, I liked the other
it's
one.
basically the same. They just the combat rather than being on a 2D plane, it's on like a checkerboard plane, but the way
Yeah,
you attack is exactly the same.
yeah.
Sorry to cut
I
you
don't
through.
know. No, no, you're right. Like, it's like all those other games that are like Fire Emblem and shit, where they're all those squared based kind of tactics
Mhm.
and stuff like that. I never really took to that, so that was a bit of a turn off. But if I catch it cheap enough on a sale, I'm always looking at it. It's on my wish list like all the time. I'm just waiting for that sale to come bring it down far enough where I'll be like, okay, all right,
Let's
I'll
do
give it
this
a
now.
go. Yeah, but man, yeah, bring it on. I think like comedy is hard to do. Like we all know that. But they do it in a way where it's like you can't deny it. They're
It's
telling
genuinely
facts.
funny.
It's generally funny. But like even today, in today's world, current year, it's like what can you joke about that won't piss someone off? So I'm a bit dubious about that. You know, where we
If
Australia, we got Stick of Truth heavily censored in Australia itself. You know,
we I can just see that they're the type of studio that can get away with also going to a lot of these companies and getting the rights to use the likeliness of some of the characters from Nintendo or Xbox or PlayStation or Capcom or whatever it is. Like they would absolutely get the rights to that stuff and just poke fun at it constantly. Like it'd be so funny.
Especially
Mm.
with, as we said, if Obsidian wind up developing it, like you've got your into Microsoft there for any of their properties to just, like you could just
Yeah.
imagine the Master Chief rocking up in South Park. It'd be pretty funny.
Mm.
Awesome. Other news around them as well. Yeah, that money includes the show being extended to season 30. It'll become the longest running show in history. Like
Wow, really longer than
ridiculous.
Wait, now
Simpsons?
is
What?
Simpsons still ahead?
Not by 30, I don't think. I think did Simpsons get stopped at 27, 28
Simpsons is
in
still
terms
going,
of
isn't it?
in
Yeah,
terms of
Simpsons still
season.
going. I thought.
I thought The
I,
Simpsons got canned. Anyway,
nah.
irrespective, the
Yeah.
fact that a show of that nature, of that adult toilet humor, can go to 30 seasons is a testament to the fact that we still can laugh and joke about pretty much anything.
Mm.
Because you find that stuff does go, it, it runs itself out. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yep.
it runs itself away from the. Thank you. It runs itself away from the like the course of, what do you call it when it's
The
I
Zeitgeist.
can't think of the term, like when they're poking fun at modern day. Like you can only
Oh,
do that for so long before like it runs out of leg room.
yes.
It's like Simpsons did it for so long, and then as you come out the other side
Simpsons
of that,
did
it's
it.
like,
Simpsons did it.
yeah, but then it's like Family Guy took over and it was the best at doing it, and then it's like it faded away. And what you've got to say about them is like, yeah, 30 seasons like of being able to be that funny and keep going that long is pretty impressive.
Well, hey, look, Power Rangers has been around for 28 years, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's not relying on modern
I
culture
know.
comedy, is it? Like that's what
I know.
I was making. But anyway, um, I need to mooch away because
Nice.
life.
Cool.
Um, thank you for joining me. I will
All right.
try to be back next week. I am
Nice.
criminally busy at work, which is, yeah, as I've alluded to, we filmed this in my lunch break, so fingers crossed we can
Thank
get
you for
there. But
that.
we'll figure something out, guys. It's nice to talk to you both, and we'll see
Yeah, no,
you in some way, shape, or form next week.
thanks for taking the time out and chatting with this man. It's always
Good to
good.
all be back together.
Yes.
And hold hands and circle jerk.
Mm. Oh, well, give me a few drinks first, mate.
Awesome. Have you ended the show, Dan?
No. Now.